Welcome to this video tour of Required Dental Systems Compliance Declaration Audit Tool. This software has been developed with health and social care experts and experienced health inspectors and auditors to allow dental practice owners and managers to demonstrate how their practice meets the requirements of the Health and Social Care Act 2008. After you have purchased the software and downloaded it from the Required Dental Systems website and installed it on your computer, it will open up on this home screen here. Depending on which version of the software you've bought, you'll have access to multiple audits or a single audit document. The version with the multiple audit documents will have a new button and an open button here. Let's have a look at the CQC Outcome and Audit Tool tab here. When we do this, the screen opens up in two parts. On the left side here we have the 28 CQC outcomes listed in order. On the right hand side here we have a grid which we use to complete our evidence to show compliance of each of the outcomes and each of the compliance requirements. Clicking on any of these changes the contents of the grid on the other side. However, before we start filling this in, let's go and put in our practice details into this piece of software. So we click on the Practice Details tab here. This allows us to enter an audit date and details of our practice. So our practice name I'm just going to put down here as Demo, and I'm going to set the audit date for the 1st of October 2011. This button here allows us to set a target date which is the same as the audit date for all of the various outcomes. It saves you having to go through manually and enter target dates. You can click on this or you can leave it and enter the dates manually. I'll click on it now. OK, let's save this information and go back now to the home page. Before we actually start filling in any of the information in the grids, we should read the important information contained within this software. The contents of this document will help you to fill in the grids in the CQC Outcome Audit Tool. Clicking back takes us back to the home page. OK, let's have a look then again at the CQC Outcomes and Audit Tool tab. The first thing you'll notice is now that all of the grids here have turned amber. Now the reason for that is that we've set a target date for each of these different requirements. Amber means that it's an incomplete action. The key up here tells us what each of the colour codes mean. If it's white, it means nothing has been done at all. If it's amber, it means that we're within the time for the target, but we haven't completed the actions. If it's red, it means that we've gone beyond the target date and haven't completed our actions. If it's green, that means that everything has been completed. OK, so let's start typing in some actions that are required for our audit. Click in the box here and we can just start typing. So let's look at this first one here, which says that the practice has a statement of purpose which is up to date. Well, in this example I'm going to say that the statement of purpose requires a review. So I'll type that in. We type into the cells of this grid as you would do with any normal word processor. You can delete, you can copy, you can paste. The only thing you have to be careful of is that when you hit the Enter key, it will move you on to the next cell of the grid. If you want to take a new line within this cell, you look at the little hint and tip up here which says you put your finger on the Shift key, hit Enter, and that takes you onto a new line. So you can start typing again on the new line. I'm going to put in here who this action is required by, and that will be the manager. So I'll click in here and just put in manager, and I'll save that information. Click on save. So that information has been added to the Audit Tool document. I could go on now and work my way through all of the outcomes, putting in actions required, by whom, and completing the grids. If there's an area where no further action is required, we can just tick the completed button and save that, and as soon as we do that it will turn green to show that there are no further actions required and everything here is compliant. Going back to our first one, which was the amber one here, again if at some later date the statement of purpose has been reviewed and accepted and everything is up to date, again I just click on completed, save that, and it will go green. So what does the red mean then? Let's change the target date for this particular one here. I'm going to change the target date to a date prior to today. So I'm going to put it at the 1st of August and I'm going to save that information. As soon as I do that, that particular area goes red to show that we have gone beyond the target date and haven't completed the actions that were required for this particular thing. However, once the actions have been completed, ticking the completed button will turn it back to green. I'm just going to untick that for the moment because I'm going to demonstrate something later. One of the nice features that are built into this software is the ability to do a search and replace. This is a standard search and replace tool where you can search for a string of characters and replace it either within the evidence to show compliance or in the actual compliance requirement themselves. Let's have a look now at the Outstanding Tasks tab. When we bring this up, we see first of all of the actions which are still in date. So these are all the ones which are amber, and we see all of them are still in date. So we still have time to complete any actions required before the target date. Time expired shows an example of one where we haven't completed an action and we've gone beyond the target date and we still have got the actions to do. Incomplete simply means that we haven't entered anything into some of these columns. We really should have something in the column if there's an action required. Let's go back to the home screen again. As I said, there are two versions of this software. There's one version for a single audit document and one which allows multiple audit documents. This is the one which does multiple audits. If I want to start a new audit document, I click on the New button here. I'll give a name to the new document, so let's say I call it New Audit 3. Save that. What that does then, it creates a brand new blank audit document with all of the evidence, all of the compliance requirements and everything else blank. If I go back to my home, you'll notice now it's changed that this is the document I'm working on. This document could have been saved in your My Document area, or it could have been saved in a network or a shared area, allowing other people to get access to it. You'll notice that on all of the screens there's a print button up here, and clicking on this print button gives you the option of printing with colours or without colours. The choice is yours. I'll just say no to this, and what it does is it brings up a printable form of that grid. There's much more information about printing in the second video, and I suggest you watch that once you've completed this one. So that's the Required Dental Systems Compliance Declaration Audit Tool. Comes with all of the 28 CQC outcomes. It comes populated with evidence to show compliance, and it gives you the ability to put in actions, by whom, a target date, and a tick box to say that that's been completed.